And, we're talking Tigers. The Red Wings are going to be getting things rolling as well. What a great time to check in with a big-time friend of the show. Of course, it is Daniella Bruce, a broadcast reporter for the Tigers and the Red Wings. Daniella, appreciate your time. Thanks for squeezing us in. Are you a little busy right now, Daniella?
Not at all.
Not at all.
Not busy at all. Don't worry about it. This is totally cool. No, it's hectic, but in the best way possible. This is what you want, right? You want the Tigers to be making a push late in the season and hoping for some October baseball. So it's fun.
Daniella, you're a part of the radio broadcast for the Tigers, part of the radio broadcast for the Red Wings as well. Can we go back to, say, August 1st? Because we've kind of come to the light with where we were with this baseball team. So I'll ask you, Daniella, August 1st, this team, where they were at, no, we didn't see this coming. Did you see this coming? Be real.
No, not to this
Thank
extent.
you.
I didn't. I think what I did understand about this team that a lot of people didn't is that there is a lot of talent, and they're young, they're exciting, they care, they want to win, they want to be there, and they have some really good players like Riley Green. You have Parker Meadows, you have Kerry Carpenter, Colt Keith. I'm sure I'm missing a few. Tarek Skubal, obviously, but the Tigers went through some injuries, right? Kerry Carpenter was hurt for a lot of the season. Parker Meadows went through a slump and had to go back down to Toledo to get things right. Spencer Torkelson had to do the same thing. So you start to think about what this team may have been capable of if all of those things didn't happen. But the situation they were in was they were trading away guys like Jack Flaherty, and they were suffering injuries. So I don't think this was quite expected. The run that they're on right now is incredible. But what was expected was the hard work that these guys put in. And I know that they want to win and they want to be here, and they were never going to throw in the towel no matter what the situation was.
So what's it been? Hey, D, what's up? What's it been like having like a front row seat on the inside? And so and you got to understand with Daniella too. Yes, true professional, right? Covers all the sports and stuff. But she's as big a fan as all of us. But she can separate her fandom from her professionalism. But from your fandom side, right? Oh, and by the way, your Lucas Raymond and Mo Sider got signed, so you can sit there.
We're
right?
gonna get to that.
I'm gonna see you later on today, but I was just gonna give you the right? Patience. But as a fan, like, when did it seem like special, like this, the way that it was different in covering it? Was there a specific moment where you thought, oh my gosh?
Do you know what game I go back to? And I was off this day for a personal matter, but it was the Tigers-Dodgers series here at Comerica Park. And the Tigers pulled off an immaculate ninth inning comeback and ended up winning that game. Now, they're not going to tell you there's a specific point where they were like, oh, there's something special about this team, or, oh, they can do this. And that might have been in July. Yes, it was in July still. And it actually was kind of early in July. But I remember watching that game thinking, they have something here. No matter what happens this season, no matter what this turns out to be, we're headed in the right direction. And this team, they fight, they're gritty, they want to win games. And I remember thinking that after that game where everybody's counting you out, and rightfully so. In the ninth inning, you're down, and they come back and win that game to win the series against the Dodgers. And I just remember thinking there's something special here, no matter what the result is this season.
Hi, Danielle. Appreciate you joining us. And I just had to ask, like, it seems like Chris Fetter this season, everything he touches just turns to gold. Is there, like, a presence when he's walking around of him just like glowing or something like that? Because it's insane what he's doing.
The kids call it aura.
Yeah, aura.
He's definitely got some aura. He's got some aura, that's for sure. But Chris Fetter's a really good dude. He walks around. He's just like anybody else. We have conversations with him all the time, but there's no doubt what he's doing is special. And I even, with the Jackson Jobe call-up, which is really exciting to have him here. When you look at some of the numbers he was putting up in Toledo, it's not quite adding up to the fact that he's ready to be in the big leagues. But when they get to work with Chris Fetter and they're looking for specific things out of specific pitchers, and they start to see that develop in the minors, then they get the call up and get to work with him. And you're seeing that, like a Brant Herter, Sean Gunther, even, and Ty Madden, just getting the call ups and being able to hone in on their skill sets and perform at a really high level. So it makes me really excited to know that they all saw something in Jackson Jobe that they're like, yeah, he's big league ready. We want to bring him up. We think he can help us win in this final stretch of the season.
Daniella Bruce joining us, broadcast reporter for the Detroit Red Wings and the Detroit Tigers. So she's going to be pulling some double duty here as things begin to shake themselves out. She will be downtown again, obviously, for the game tonight. And remember, everybody, by the way, 6-game homestand at Comerica Park to end the regular season. No fees, no ticket fees, as a matter of fact,
tonight.
when you buy them online. Spencer Raxter is walking proof of that, everybody. So make sure you get down there. Daniella, what about that yesterday? Because the crowd, the energy, and I was listening on the radio as I was driving around town and doing the stuff that I have to do. The crowd was hype yesterday. With the weather and the crappy weather and all that stuff and the switch of the game time, I understand it's hard for 38,000 to get down there for that with all the moving parts that were going on. What was the scene like in the ballpark yesterday? Because coming through on the radio broadcast, people were hyped, man.
We talked about this post game, actually. I talked about it with some colleagues and some of the players as well. When you see the crowd to start the game, you're like, man, it's just such a bummer that they weren't all able to get down here, that the weather's not cooperating, because this would have been a packed ballpark. But the fans that did show up were loud. That was one of the loudest games I've heard in a while, and it probably was half full. It was so exciting to see, and they were into every single pitch. And obviously with Tarek Skubal on the mound, that's easy to do. You're into every single pitch, but everything. And they were so reactive. They were so excited. Tarek could feel it. You saw his reaction when he walked off the mound in the 7th inning. He was acknowledging the fans. They can feel the energy. And it was, I don't want to say it's surprising, because I'm not surprised that Detroit fans know when they have something special going on and they have a potential playoff team to root for. So I'm not surprised by it, but it was just incredible. It was so loud. If you were listening on the radio, Neil, I'm sure you thought there might be a packed ballpark. You're like, wow, everybody really did show up for this game despite the time change.
All right, D, let's switch gears. Let's go across the road over to LCA. First exhibition game. Trade kit, you're all excited. Everybody signed up and stuff. I guess just, we got a bunch of exhibition games, so we're going to see a bunch of different guys in the lineup and get opportunities, and not so much of who's playing tonight and stuff like that. But just give us a roundabout what you took away from training camp, what you took away from how the Wings are set up, obviously getting these contracts done, and what do we look forward to with the underway? The season, officially begins sort of tonight in Chicago for the exhibition game.
Well, first of all, DMAC, as you referenced, I was getting a little nervous about Mo and Lucas not being signed. Confident, but still nervous, as most fans were. Both of them got signed in time for the season to start. Lucas did come up to Traverse City. He was at training camp. Mo just joined the team here in Detroit. But I think to have those 2 contracts done was just that, a sense of relief for everybody, and you can move forward with preparing for the season the way that you expect to and the way that you want to. So having them both around, and they're going to be Red Wings for a long time, that's great stuff. But this camp felt like it was very competitive, and it's always serious, but there was just a little bit of a more serious tone to this year's camp. And I think that's because these players know how close they came last year to making the playoffs, and they're ready to build off that, to do that again this season. And the competition for some of the young players that really would like to crack this roster, it's going to be tough for them to do, but they want to push to do it. And I'm talking about the Nate Danielsons, Carter Mazers, Marco Kaspers, who will likely spend some time in Grand Rapids, but they want to push to make a statement and make it hard for Steve Yzerman to decide who's on this final roster. You have Albert Johansson and Jonathan Berggren, who are on prove-it contracts, right? They need to get out there and prove that they can be NHLers every day. So you saw some of that competition coming through, and the veterans that, for lack of a better term, know they have a spot on this team, right? That pushes them to be a little bit better. And you could feel that. You could feel that all through camp. I was between the benches for the red and white game, and I've never felt such a serious atmosphere for that game. Darren knows there's a lot of work that goes into it, but it's fun. The crowd in Traverse City is very into it. No, these guys were dialed, and they were ready to go. So I hope that translates to some of what we see in the preseason.
Well, Daniella, I know that you're super busy, and we're very, very appreciative of your time coming on. There is no doubt about it. And I know you've been filming some stuff with DMAC that's going to be coming out soon, so I'm sure that's very exciting. I wanted to tell you, too, in the chat right now, Ryan's reaction, Daniella, the orange fit is lit. People are feeling the orange fit today.
You want to know why I chose to wear it? Because I know next week, if we're playing either Baltimore or Houston, I can't wear orange. So today I have to wear
Look at that.
orange.
Look at, hey, you know what? There's levels to this, folks. There's levels to this.
Absolutely. Spenny, you got one more?
Yeah, just quickly before we let her go, I just had to ask about, like, what was it like for these young guys in Traverse City and in the red and white scrimmage to have Patrick Kane there this year? Because obviously, you know, he was brought in later during the season last year, so they didn't get the full experience, but he was out there on the ice. I saw some of the mic'd up stuff. Like, how was their reactions to having the greatest American hockey player of all time in their midst?
I think they were all very, I don't want to, like, again, shocked is not the right word, right? They're used to this. They saw him play last year. Some of our younger players just took it all in, right? You could tell they were taking it in, listening to everything he had to say, watching everything that he did. But even for some of our veterans, I sat down with Dylan Larkin and talked to Derek Lalone and asked them both about Patrick Kane, because this is the first full training camp and off season that he's had since he was a Blackhawk. So it's been a couple of years for him. And they were just really impressed with how good he looked, how sharp he looked. Derek Lalone said excellent, and he wanted to be cautious with that statement, but he said it's been incredible to watch what he's been able to do after that hip injury, and is really excited to see what he can bring to this Red Wings team after a full season, a full off season, I should say, of getting that regular work in and going through camp the way that every other player does. So it's going to be a very exciting year to see what Patrick Kane can do.
All right. Well, Daniella, in the chat as well, Big M, Daniella always on top of her game. Yes, you are. And I do want to say this, like, from the broadcast craft of it, what you and Dan Dickerson do when you do your report hits is elite. It's elite on Dan's part. It's elite on your part. And this is like geeky broadcast guy stuff here. For real, Daniel, it is elite. You guys are elite at it. I enjoy listening to you, and we'll get you back on soon.
Thank you so much, Neil. I love joining both of you. And D-Mac, I'll see you later.
I'll see you later, D. You betcha. Go Tigers.
Top secret projects. Daniella Bruce, everybody, broadcast reporter for the Tigers and the Red Wings. Man, you guys just doing top secret projects.
Top secret stuff. You'll see sooner than later.
I'm so juiced right now. Red Wings starting tonight.
I see it on your face.
I love it, man. It's just
Look at
the
this
best.
guy.
I'm so excited.
Spenny, put the camera on yourself right now.
I can't wait. I just want to.
Damn near red in there.
Come to Tigers tonight. I can't wait.